It's time, guys. It is time. I'm not messing around right here. This is important. The thing that can make you really rich with crypto is the same thing that can really wreck you with crypto as well. I'm talking, of course, about nothing else than altcoins. Altcoins in a bull market, if you are in the right ones, can turn your life around completely. I love being in altcoins during a bull market. During a bear market, it's the complete opposite, of course. If Bitcoin goes down, altcoins go down way more, and most don't even survive, and they can take away. They have the magic to turn $5,000 into $50. Believe me, I went there. It's not okay. Now, like I said, it is time. It is now really time to take a good look at some things because I think soon it is time to get into some positions. Now, you can, of course, follow this channel every day, and I suggest you doing so. But if you do not want to rely on others, of course, I would like to show you some charts that helped me from getting wrecked. Over the last year, more than a year now, we have been talking about altcoins going down. For over a year now, they went down. I think this will soon stop. Soon, okay? Not now necessarily, but soon. So we want to position ourselves. We want to have the knowledge. And in this video, I would like to show you what things you should look at to figure out for yourself, like, okay, now it is time. Because let's be honest, a lot of people, they thought it was time for over the last year. It wasn't. Right, a lot of altcoins, and the exceptions are there, but most altcoins they go down, they go up a little bit, but they go down even more, and then they have a little pump, and everybody's bullish again, and there's that FOMO, but then it goes down even more, and at the end of the day, you get wrecked. So let's talk about something that can really help you to not get wrecked, and how you can see if it's actually time to get in. Now, I've been making a lot of money anyway by being in launch pads, and on my Patreon, I give these early calls. I also talk about some big crypto influencers that you definitely know, and I have their wallets, and we can actually look like, hey, what are they doing? What are they buying before they talk about it or tweet about it? Because then it's basically already too late. So if you are interested in that, there's a link down below to the Patreon. But for now, like I said, I want to show you what charts I'm actually looking at and how I look at those to prevent myself from getting wrecked and to find out when it's actually time to buy these altcoins. And there are a couple of cheat sheets, to be honest. But first, I see some influencers now also talking about, oh, the pump, and have you missed the pump, and what the pump, and I'll be like, okay, let's take this one, AVAX. This is AVAX. Let's take this one as example, okay? It depends a little bit on what you're in for crypto, because if you are trading it, then you can somehow try to time the bottom and ride a pump of 25%, and that's nice. But I'm always thinking like, hey, if you actually made this 25% because you are an investor, then you did something wrong. And you might feel like, but if we catch this whole wave, then what did we do wrong? Well, what you did wrong was basically that you tried to buy the bottom, right? And maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. But if you did, then it also means that you tried to time this bottom, and this bottom, and this bottom, and this bottom, and this bottom. At the end of the day, I look at this chart and I see we have a high, low high, low high, lower high, and well, this is probably just being a lower high. We have a low, we have a lower low, we have a lower low, we have a lower low. So if you caught this, it means that you are bottom chasing, and so far there was not a single time in the history of this bear market that worked out in the long term. Like, you can of course say, yeah, but I am DCAing, and that's cool. I don't think that's the most effective way, because you usually want to DCA a accumulation phase, not a downtrend, right? Like we spoke about before, there you have an accumulation phase, then there's an uptrend, a distribution phase, and a downtrend, and then it starts over again. And most people, they somehow just feel like, man, I'm gonna just DCA the downtrend. You could do that, but you have to ride half a bull market to finally make up for the losses that you made on the way down. Plus, you do not know if you are actually dollar costing into an altcoin that actually dies once we are here. Because a lot of projects do. So you play a very risky game for not a lot of rewards. And the only thing that's holding people back from just waiting until we are here is being emotional, right? They have FOMO. They have no patience. They feel like, man, I just want to buy it right now because look at this pump. Let me ape in, right? Yeah, if everybody done that over here and over here and over here and over here, at the end of the day, you are now lower in your cash position than what you was if you would have just waited. The longer you wait, the closer to the bull market we are, the higher the chances that that project is going to survive. So that's the first thing I just want to say. I'm not saying that the DCA strategy is necessarily a bad strategy, but it definitely depends on, when you apply it. Now, one of the things that I'm looking at is the Bitcoin dominance, and the Bitcoin dominance is just this is one of the most important charts that you can use if you want to invest in altcoins. Why? Well, the Bitcoin dominance is of course showing how much Bitcoin is dominating the crypto space when you compare it to altcoins. And if we want to be completely fair, then we should take a look at the Bitcoin dominance without any stable coins. And then you'll have this chart right here. Okay, so this chart right here is absolutely mooning. If this was an altcoin, everybody was buying it because they love how it's going up and it's making higher highs, higher lows, breaking all the resistances without a problem, basically. It's a very clear uptrend. All the moving averages are working in our benefit as well. This is an insane bullish pattern. This is an insane bullish chart. However, if this is bullish, then it means that it's not so bullish for altcoins. And still, a lot of people, I think, when they look at this chart without knowing what it is, they'd be like, oh, this is looking good. But then when you would say like, yeah, but this is the Bitcoin dominance, they'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, okay, fuck it, I will still buy altcoins. But look at the chart, all right? Look at the chart. You just said it was bullish. At least that's what I feel in for these people. But it looks bullish, right? So the Bitcoin dominance is going up for a very, very, very long time already. Basically already since May 2021, but you can take it from December 2021. So this means that altcoins have been underperforming against Bitcoin for the last 2 years. Okay, altcoins have been going down against Bitcoin. Now, this chart tells you whether you want to be in altcoins or if you want to be in Bitcoin. So if the chart is going up, you want to be in Bitcoin. It's Bitcoin season. If the chart is going down, it's altcoin season and you want to be in altcoins. Now, the good thing is that the higher this goes, the harder it can fall. So eventually we will have a very big alt season. And the thing is that the people that will actually profit from that are the people that not have put in all their money in altcoins here already. Because when altcoins now finally bottom out, these people barely have any cash left to allocate in these altcoins because they bought the dip and the dip and the dip. And yeah, like I said, you first have to ride half a bull market to play even, and maybe then you start making some profits. While the people that were patiently waiting, they can now allocate big time in altcoins, and then the alt season is going to be really fucking fun, of course. So the Bitcoin dominance is a chart that I'd like to use. Now, Miles Deutsche made this tweet, the Bitcoin dominance cheat sheet. I just saw this and this was quite interesting. This is almost accurate. And what do we mean? Well, you can, for example, if the Bitcoin dominance stays sideways, but Bitcoin goes down, then altcoins go down, of course, as well, right? Because, the Bitcoin dominance is not going anywhere, so no money is going from Bitcoin in altcoins or the other way around, but Bitcoin does go down. So it means that altcoins go down just as hard with it, for example. If the Bitcoin dominance goes down while Bitcoin goes up, that's what you call an alt season, right? So there are 9 possibilities and only one of those results into a real alt season. This is not necessarily true though. Bitcoin dominance up and Bitcoin goes up, is altcoins going down? That's not the case. I don't know why it says it there, but that's what we have basically just seen, right? The Bitcoin dominance has been going up. If we take a look at Bitcoin, has also been going up. it doesn't mean that altcoins necessarily go down. Matter of fact, some altcoins have been going up as well. Like most altcoins have been going up, right? They just follow Bitcoin, but they go up a lot less than Bitcoin. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they go down. However, altcoins do go down on their Bitcoin pair, of course. If you, again, take a look at the Bitcoin dominance, yeah, this has been mooning, right? If we, let's put it on the weekly to make it a little more clear, this is how it looks like. So you can, of course, guess that altcoins on their Bitcoin pair, yeah, you can look at it and it's all down. This is Cardano, this is Arweave, this is AVAX, Dogecoin, this is DOT, this is Ethereum, Gala. Some go down a little bit and some go down like extremely hard. If you look, for example, at Dogecoin, it is like, okay, it at least holds this range a little bit, right? But if you look, for example, at coins like DOT, like there's no strength at all. So this is something you want to take a look at and be like, why the fuck would I want to buy DOT in this case, for example, right? I mean, the chart is skydiving. You were way better off buying Bitcoin because, yeah, Bitcoin is down 2x, right? But DOT is down 87% against Bitcoin, which is down 2x. So you lose a lot in that case. Therefore, you want to be really careful with altcoins. And this is still like, I know people don't want to hear this. You know, they will, oh, I get these comments like, yeah, but this altcoin and that. But this is the overall, the collective altcoin market. Has been shown in the Bitcoin dominance, right? And if you do not want to close your eyes and gamble on that altcoin is going to outperform, because there are not much outperformers if you take a look at how many altcoins there are in total, right? You can maybe pick 20 or so. Like, but yeah, okay, cool. But from a couple of million, that's not a lot. And if you happen to be in those, and congrats. But if you want to also play it a little safer, then you should be a little careful with that. So that's what I'm looking at, the Bitcoin dominance. But again, if you really want to take a fair look at it, you should take a look at the Bitcoin dominance, excluding stable coins, okay? Because yeah, like I said, the Bitcoin dominance, it shows you how much Bitcoin is dominating the rest of the crypto space. But that also goes with stables, of course. And that's not really a fair way to look at it because they don't move if everything is okay. Now, a chart that puts it the other way around, basically, is this one. There's the total 3. So this is the altcoin market divided by the Bitcoin market cap. This chart is super, super, super important because, like I said, we can take a look at DOT right here. We can take a look at Illuvium. We can take a look at Litecoin. But again, it's really hard to pick these coins before it happens. You can better take a look at the general market, like, hey, where it's going. And if it looks really bad, yeah, then you can gamble, of course, like, yeah, okay, well, let's try this altcoin or this one. If you want to stay safe, you can also take all these altcoins, put them into one chart, and then that's this, because this is the total 3. Total 3 is everything except Bitcoin and Ethereum, okay? But again, also stables. Well, if you divide that by the Bitcoin market cap, you get this chart. And this chart is very easy, at least for me, to read. Why is that? Well, the cycle before this cycle is playing out, it's now playing out the exact same way. So it's very predictable, right? And I'm not saying like, hey, this happened, so it's now also going to happen like this. But so far, it's playing out the exact same way. So there's a big chance that you can say like, well, then there's a good chance the next move is going to be something like this, right? We were in an accumulation phase over here. So altcoins were sitting very low against Bitcoin, so on their Bitcoin pair. So if you had Bitcoin, right, which I still recommend, then you can convert it into altcoins when we're down here. Then it went up. We went into a distribution phase. We went down. We found a bottom in this area. We started a small uptrend, broke it, retested it, and went into the final accumulation phase again. This cycle, accumulation phase, of course, uptrend, big distribution phase. It went down and it stopped at this level here, started a small uptrend, broke it, and now I expect something similar because every single step is identical. So who am I to say like, okay, but the next move is going to be different? So what I expect is this thing to go down a little bit, maybe retest it, and enter the accumulation phase. However, the total 3, like I said, is everything except Bitcoin and Ethereum. So what's there? Stables. So let's take the biggest stable coin away, which is USDT, and then we will get this chart right here. So if you type it like this, I can show you on screen right here. Here we go. If you type it like this, you just press enter, you will get it. The sun is burning in my fucking eyes. So then you get this chart. And this chart is looking a little better because we are way lower to the accumulation phase right here if you take the stable coins away, right? But what you notice as well is we came down, we entered this area over here, we had a bounce, we entered it again, had a little bounce, and then broke it. What I see right here is we came down, we entered it, up, retested it again, we can have a little bounce, and maybe then break it. And then enter the accumulation phase, right? I'm not saying wait for it to go all the way down here, but if you take it down, yeah, this whole area is basically fine. Okay. So this is a super important chart that shows you exactly if altcoins are worth the risk, right? People were buying altcoins here. Well, altcoins were sitting like freaking high on their Bitcoin pair. So they were topping out against Bitcoin. So if you felt back then like, yeah, I have FOMO for the crypto market, then this would have been the best time to buy Bitcoin, not altcoins. This chart is showing exactly when to buy what. It's like such a cheat sheet right here. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. So that's what I'm looking at. Another chart that I also showed in the Patreon is the USDT dominance. This is showing something really bullish to me for the crypto market to also be bullish, right? I'm not only being whiny here and shit. Yeah, basically I'm just saying altcoins look bad, Bitcoin look great. But the USDT dominance. So this showing how much money is sitting in USDT. If it goes down, it's getting deployed into the altcoin market or into the crypto market, not necessarily altcoins. So this was in an uptrend, right? From August 2022 until last week. So money was getting into stables. People were taking the money out of altcoins, out of Bitcoin, out of whatever, and put it into stables. However, we broke this trend, as you can see very clearly, right? We broke this trend. Not saying that we cannot go up again, but at least we will always have this wick right here. So it finally shows weakness the first time ever. Now, what I look at is basically this. How much did the USDT dominance go down? 15% over the last 2 weeks. Cool. What did Bitcoin do over the last 2 weeks? Bitcoin pumped 25%, and if we take it to the top, even 30. So you could say for every percent that this thing is going down, Bitcoin is going up like 2%. If I look at this chart, you see that white line over there? Looks to me like big support. Something that we should see one day. How far is that? Well, from this point, 28%. Let's round it up, 30%. So that could mean that as soon as this happens, Bitcoin goes up like 60%. If we have a 60% pump from this level, we will have Bitcoin sitting at $54,000. Could happen. It could happen. I'm not saying this week, I'm not saying next month, I'm not saying even this year, right? It takes time. But that looks like a huge target around that area. And if we then take a look at the chart, like, okay, where's all the real resistance and such sitting, then I would say like closer to 51K, give or take, maybe slightly below, maybe 84 till 51, something like that. That's going to be a huge area for me. So what I'm doing right now is Let me mark off this level right here. Around something like that. So how I'm playing this is, I'm not saying that we won't get rejected at around 37 or something like that first, you know, and that we cannot go down first to 20K or that kind of stuff. But by the time the real bull market starts, this is not a bull market. I'm convinced that this is not the bull market, by the way. We will go down. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't care. I have my Bitcoin. If we go down, only better. If we go up, also fine. I'm positioned. But what I find interesting is that as soon as we get there, with all the shit along the way, I might sell something, take my profits, because we can easily go back around 36. Then buy in again and continue our way up, right? Bull market is never up only, right? It looks like very much up only, but these differences are quite huge. Here we went from 3K all the way to 42, got rejected, came all the way back down to 29, and then we went up again. So if you traded that, like Bitcoin, like people always say, oh, Bitcoin is not going to give you a 10x. Well, so far it always did, like always, at least a 10x. So I don't know why it wouldn't be possible right now. But it also depends on how you play it. Bitcoin can give you a 50x. I mean, if you buy at 20K and it goes to 60K at 3x your money, if you then sell and it goes, that's trading, right? You can make as much as you want. But if you know a little bit what charts you have to take a look at, then you can definitely make the most out of it. Yeah, okay, cool. Another chart that I think is super important to look at if you are interested in altcoins is the total 3, but not just the total 3. Because like what we just said, the total 3 includes stables, right? So the total 3, again, everything except Bitcoin and Ethereum. You can already get a lot of, information out of this. What can we, for example, say if we look at the total 3, that altcoins are doing fucking bad, right? Really bad. Look how the Bitcoin chart is looking. Yeah, see this? Cool. Now look how the altcoin chart is looking. So a lot of people can still say like, yeah, buy altcoins. Well, turned out that wasn't such a good idea, was it? Bitcoin moons. Altcoins, low highs. Okay, fair enough. You can say it makes higher lows also, because we had a low right here and we had a slightly higher low right there. Cool. True. But is this the chart that you should be looking at, really? Because again, this has USDT, for example, in it. So what you can do is you can take a look at the total 3, but take USDT away. Then you will find this chart. And then it's not looking so bullish anymore, is it? Because what is the total 3 doing if you take USDT away? So really a more fair representation of what altcoins are doing. I see a high, I see a low high, a low high, a lower high, a lower high, and even with this pump that everybody is excited about, a lower high. Okay. But the total 3, like a lot of people could have said, like, hey, but we have a low and a high low. Well, yeah, that's true. But if we take a stable coin away with a low, a low, low, a low, a low. So while Bitcoin is making high highs and high lows for the complete year, the altcoin market has been making low highs and lower lows ever since the bear market started until the day of today. So I know everybody loves, again, these pumps, right? And this mostly, like the first couple of things I said are really helpful if you were in Bitcoin, or if you still have Bitcoin, or if you are DCAing into Bitcoin. Because like I said, if you ride the Bitcoin wave first and then put that money that you made into altcoins, because Bitcoin usually rides first half a bull market and then altcoins really start to run. So you can basically ride 2 bull markets in one cycle, right? And it's quite cool. But if you are in stables and altcoins, they don't care about Bitcoin, right? That's true. I hope you will apply it next cycle though, because yeah. But for now, you'll be like, okay, no Bitcoin. I missed the lows on the Bitcoin pairs. Yeah, am I also now missing the lows on the dollar pairs? Probably not. Probably altcoins are going to go way lower, right? And for a lot of people, that's hard to hear because they don't want to. But you don't have to look at the market and be like, okay, this is going to happen because this is what I want to happen. Fuck what you want. Look at the charts and look what's likely to happen and adjust what you want to that. And if I look at the chart, yeah, like I said, low highs, low lows. Okay. So what is the pattern right here? Well, the pattern is this: up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. That's the pattern. There's like, don't fight. It's so simple. Don't fight the trend. Okay, if you fight the trend, you will get wrecked. And that's the thing with the crypto market. It's sometimes it bumps a little bit to make people believe like, okay, let's get back in it at the highs, and then it continues just doing what it does, and then it also goes back down again, and then these people are wrecked, and then you will find that you are wrecked again, and you'll be like, fuck, never mind. And then everybody gets out of crypto, it actually bottoms out, and then we go up and you miss it. Don't do it. This 4-year cycle is not happening every week. Like it happens every 4 years, right? But you can only profit from it in the bull market if you have been prepared in the bear market. And by preparing, I don't mean buying the tops all the fucking time and then get wiped out once it just goes down again. This is the trend. At a certain point, the trend is going to change and it breaks down or it breaks up. At a certain point. But what good is it just buying it all the time everywhere thinking that now it's going to break out? Because so far it didn't. So what makes it going to do right now? And that's where people follow the news. They try to justify their actions by buying these shit coins at the top by saying like, well, yeah, it's going to be an ETF, so now it's different. No. No. Okay, like you can. I don't follow news. Of course, I follow. Like I know about the ETF and all of that, but I don't follow the news. Why? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a good excuse for people to think that this time is going to be different. If the news is so big and impactful, then it will show on the charts. If the news is not really that spectacular, then you don't see it on the charts. Right? So we got this Bitcoin ETF news. What do you see on the charts? That Bitcoin is going to profit from that. That the Bitcoin dominance is going up as well. And that altcoins struggle to at least make a higher high for once. Right? So once we get the real ETF, it's very good for Bitcoin and eventually for altcoins as well, because at a certain point, people will put their Bitcoin money into altcoins. But we have seen a preview. Use this in your example. We got a trailer on small scale of what might happen when we get the real ETF. We have seen that altcoins are going to get fucking washed out on their Bitcoin pair. We have seen that Bitcoin goes up. And we have seen that altcoins on their dollar pair still maintain their downtrend. And people still say, just DCA into altcoins. How stupid are you, bruh? Like, common sense. So what makes people want to buy altcoins all the time? Because if it does break out, then the profits are going to be bigger than if you would have bought Bitcoin. And that is true. That is definitely true. If we are in a bull market where altcoins are also going up very hard in an alt season, they will outperform Bitcoin and they will go up much harder. But this is not the phase yet. It's not about what you buy, it's about when you buy it. Right? That's the most important thing. Also, if I drop a video, 10 altcoins to do this, lots of views. But if I talk about, hey, best timing, nobody cares. Well, it doesn't fucking matter what altcoins you buy. It doesn't matter, right? Look at this. AVAX, when did it top out? End of 2022. Okay, when did Cardano top out? end of 2022. When did DOT top out? And 2021, all of them. When did DOT? End of 2021. Dogecoin, end, or May in this case, but there was also a top for Bitcoin, of 2021. Illuvium, end of 2021. It's not that all these coins at that point had like something like at the same time all good news and they were all at the top of their quality. It was the timing in the market, and it didn't really matter in what coin you was. They were all topping out. And of course, the coin that you pick, that decides whether you are up 20 or 30x, for example. But the timing is like all the same, basically. Therefore, timing in the market is super important. And I don't mean like, hey, try to time the bottom and then sell it while you try to time the top. But it's also important to know, like, hey, in this phase of the market, you should be in stables. This phase of the market, you should be in Bitcoin. This phase of the market, you should be in like nothing, like not even stables or whatever. Just put it on your bank. Hey, in this phase of the market, put it in altcoins, right? The phase of the market where you want to put your money in altcoins is not here yet, as you can clearly see, right? And please don't look too much at the exceptions. If you want to trade the exceptions, cool, by all means, do it. But if you want to like now invest serious money for the coming bull market, and you don't really like losing it in the meantime, yeah, then you should just take a look at these charts right here. And these will really, really, really help you out. Really, they will. Right? And I've showed you this before, like, yeah, you can dollar cost, of course. But what if you, for example, now buy a Chainlink because you feel like, yeah, it can go down, but if we go back to the all-time high and make money anyway, right? That's cool. You make a 5x, give or take. But if you dollar cost like more of the accumulation area, then you can already make a 9x. It's a big difference, right? So losing money is not only like that it sucks in the short term for your portfolio, but it's also every cent that you spend right now is a cent that you can spend when the token is actually sitting at a level that's worth buying it. And if it does break out, fuck it, you miss it. There are more altcoins than that. Don't get emotionally attached to that shit. Right? I'm preaching for fucking 30 minutes again about this because a lot of people say that your video is too long, and I get that. But on the other hand, it's also just, in my opinion, really important information. And in the bull run, I hope you're gonna thank me for this. Not that I know it all, but you know, I have seen what works for me and what didn't work for me. And all I know what didn't work for me is FOMOing in at the tops, or, you know, DCAing a downtrend, or not looking at the right charts while they are basically in front of you. So look at those things. Stay dead inside. Don't have any emotions. Be a zombie. Be like me, like a fucked up piece of human that's like can't even laugh. But it will make you rich. It will make you money. This is going to decide if you're going to make a 10x in crypto or 50x, right? Very, very, very simple. And that's worth it, right? That's worth it. And again, don't feel rushed with altcoins. I've showed you this before in another video, but if you missed that, look at Bitcoin. Like, look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin started to rip, right? Let's, for example, overlay Cardano, right? Bitcoin went from 3K to around, where was it, 25K. So Bitcoin almost 10x'd. And that was the point where Cardano finally started to moon. And this is one example. You can overlay any fucking altcoin. It kind of looks the same, right? Altcoins follow later. Okay, there's no rush to be in altcoins just yet. Oh, fuck, I'm tired. I hope it was useful information. That I've showed you a couple of charts that, in my opinion, are very useful to look at. Another chart that's useful to look at. What do you mean? My coin. Sounds a little hypocritical, right? Stay away from altcoins. Hey, check out my altcoin. But I'm not saying buy it right now, but, you know, research it, check out what we do. And I think that if you find out what we do, you think the concept is quite unique, by the way. And it's fucking like we're going insane. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars that we are playing it right now after a couple of months being in the game, and in the bull run, we're going to rip. I'm sure of that. So I'm doing everything in my power to make that a big success. I love it. There's a link down below, I think, and otherwise, yeah, too bad. I look it up on CoinGecko or something like that. One last thing though, it's a conversation right now. S&P is going down quite hard, while Bitcoin is not giving a shit quite hard. So the S&P and Bitcoin are a little decoupled at the moment, and that's been going on since a while now. Basically, the S&P was going down, Bitcoin was going down with it, and really from this point where the S&P started to really go up, Bitcoin started to go down. So that was already when the S&P and Bitcoin really decorrelated, and yeah, here as well, Bitcoin down, S&P up. So that's something to keep a look at. Gold is mooning, Bitcoin is following that. So these are a couple of extra charts that you can add to your trading view to make the best decisions you can. Guys, if you appreciate the content, like the video. I'm gonna get some coffee. Love you, stay safe. We're gonna make it in the next bull, really.